Good morning, everyone. At least it's still morning for us here on the East Coast. Turn Giants coming at you for an early one with my buddy, as always, Dash. How you doing? What's going on?
Hello there.
We got sound
we
bites.
got sound bites now, guys. We're cool enough to do some sound bites, so giving you some comedic value while also we're educating your knowledge on some tactics, some practics, and shenanigactics. So yeah, let's talk some Milan today.
Yeah. So just throw it out there. Yeah, it's going to be a little more technical today, I think, because there's not a whole lot of drama. We had 2 wins in a row against opponents we should have. Yeah, I guess we can touch on a couple little things, but like Dybala, I don't know if you heard about that. That just came out. Dybala denying anything was between him and Allegri. They might have had some riffs. That's about it. I mean, I don't know. Did you hear about that?
Nope, don't care, not our player.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was figuring. So let's just roll into the Milan stuff because I think there's a lot to break down. Because of course it is Milan. It's a big game, and unlike Maccabi, there's actually a lot of footage out there for these guys, of course, and a lot of history. So Dash.
Absolutely. So we're playing against Milan this Saturday. I think it's going to be a crucial game, definitely a crucial game. It'll be a test to see if Juve really have bounced back from their weird month of September. Milan did suffer a really nasty loss against Chelsea, 3-0 at the Stamford Bridge. So all y'all folks that trolled us last year for losing 4-0 at the Stamford Bridge, here you go. But regardless, besides the fact on that, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be a test because we said we had an injury problem. Milan has an injury problem. Some of the news that's coming out is that Teo Hernandez, number 10. Yeah, you guys are on early.
Yeah, you are too, apparently.
You are too, apparently. So Teo Hernandez is going to be back on the squad for Milan. So that's going to be interesting. So it's going to be Leao and Hernandez both starting for Milan. And then I think the rest is just kind of like, because they're still missing Mike Mignon. So I'm going to pull up my old tactical screen here, and I'll show you guys the projected lineups for the Milano game.
Which will change.
Because if anything that happened against Maccabi, we figured it out that not everything is going to be the way that it is. So it looks like Milan is going to line up in their traditional 4-2-3-1 with Teo on the left, Tomori in the middle, Kalulu in the middle, Dest on the right, which is an interesting, I believe he's filling in for Florenzi in Calabria because they're both hurt. You got Benacer in the middle as a defensive pivot. You got Tonali as your playmaking pivot. You have the new guy, De Catalare, as I said that right the first time. Is their number 10. You have Leao on the left, and you have Krunic on the right, and then you have Giroud up top. Following for us, you have one mistake every 5 games. Czech Nesny. You have I'm trying to think of funny nicknames here, but you got the Lord and Savior El Capitano Daniello. You got Bumnucci. You got Bremer. You got Lord Sandro, and then you have Kostic on the left. Mr. Lepiet. Shit, did I say that right?
Lepin.
Monsieur Lepin in the middle. Paradaddy in the middle, Paredes, and you got Big Mac on the right. And then you got Susan Vlahovic and the Milik man up top. Going off of what we see here right now, it's not bad. I think it's actually a pretty solid startup because there's going to be one thing that is going to be a revolving theme around Milan is that air defense wise, and I'll show you guys some images because your buddy Dash here spent hours of film watching to actually pick out and like screenshot the exact images because I can't show clips. Thanks, YouTube. But I have some images, some screenshots that I'll go over with you guys just to kind of give you some stuff about Milano, but we'll go over the numbers real quick before we get into that fun stuff. That's going to be, part 2 of our show. So looking at the top scorers chart right now, so you got Suzanne and Leao. So they're both rated roughly around 7.5, 7.8, or in that average. Dusan's beating them with 5 goals to 4. Leao's got 4 assists to Dusan's 1, both through 7 matches played. So Leao's got a little bit more production in him, but again, position-wise, a bit more different. All right, so some notable injuries and suspensions. So we got Zlatan he still plays. That's out until late November. And then you got Simon Kjaer, who is out until the end of October with a hamstring pull. Mike Mignon got a calf injury. So, again, maybe in a week or so he'll be back. Junior Macias has a calf injury, which he played, I believe he played against Chelsea and injured it. So he's out. Calabria's out. Salamakers is out. And Florenzi is out as well. For us, Di Maria still sussy suspended. Pogba, meniscus injury, will be back hopefully after the Benfica game. DeCilio's got a thigh injury, so he'll probably be back early November. Marley Ake, mid-October. Kyle George, currently unknown. It's interesting.
Okay.
Nobody knows when
So
he's back.
so with this, I'm noticing here because
Yeah,
they did this last time. They put Chiesa as doubtful. Like there was somewhat of a chance that he could ever play, which there wasn't. Now he is not even on the list.
he's doing it. They're doing it to give Milan they're doing it to give Milan some like bad dreams or something. Because that's interesting because they took him off the injury report. He should be on there. I'd be surprised that he's not.
So
More
maybe
so.
that's why officially, if he's not on the injury report,
So technically, you know what'll be interesting because I don't think they've released the call-ups yet, the call-up sheet yet. So if they release the call-up sheet and he's on it, then that's really interesting. I think Allegri might be doing it to play mind games because then Milan will have to kind of game plan a little bit differently if they think Chiesa might get splashed in. So I
would
don't
he
think
suit? He's gonna suit up though. I'm thinking he's still a healthy scratch, or like healthy by, you know.
I would assume so. I mean, I would, but like you never know, man. Some of these managers do these really weird Jedi mind games with some other teams just to catch them off guard. But again, if we're looking at this injury sheet for Milan, they're missing their best goalkeeper, and Mike Mignon is arguably probably the best goalkeeper in the league. So Tatarajano, not known for having secure hands. He's a decent backup, but he's no Mattia Perin. I'll say that. Again, with their main center back Kayer being out for a couple of weeks, the only person that really came back from the injury is Teo Hernandez, which again he is going to be a big problem because he has a very good left back. So him and Leao are going to be giving Danilo and McKennie problems.
And he was a little more last minute, so I wonder if he's 100% yet even.
Yeah, I would wonder too. That's actually interesting. They did say that he trained with the team this morning, so he is getting practice in, but I don't know if he's full 90.
I mean, just a week ago, you were hearing that he was improbable to start, and then it was about midweek now. That's like, yeah, he's going to be starting. So, I don't know. I have my doubts just because of that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I'm just curious. I wonder if Milan is trying to do that with us a little bit, where they're trying to play those little mind games to say, "Oh, hey, by the way, Leao or not Leao, Teo's a healthy scratch to come in," and then we're kind of like, "Oh crap," because initially I'm sitting here thinking if it's just Leao as their only threat on the left, it's easy pickings for us defensively. But with Teo, you got to sit there and be like, "Oh, wait, this is different now."
Yeah, for sure. And if it is what it is, I guess they have some speed and defense between McKennie and Danilo though to kind of maybe catch up and then slow him down, something like that.
Yeah, in retrospect, yeah, it's those two are going to be tough, man. As long as there's no space between the back line and the net, it should be easy to contain them. But they're going to hit you really fast before you even know it.
Yeah.
All right, so some cool match insights.
Sorry, yeah, that'll just be more predictable too. Now we kind of just expect everything coming through the left.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, anyways, we'll see if that's what does play out because it's probably not those formations and those lineups. So we just
I know they hit us with like something totally different. And we're like, well, crap. So, looking at the insights here, so we have not won an away game in the last 8 matches. We've ranked second at home, or no, what the hell? So it says Milan is ranked 4th in goals scored per match, so 2 goals per match. They have been awarded the most penalties this season with 2. Huh. Haven't, but the other thing is Milan has not kept a clean sheet in 7 matches. Juve is ranked 6th with goals scored, so 1.5 goals, ranked 2nd at home this season. That's weird because that has nothing to do with we're not playing at home, we're playing in San Siro. And then we haven't won, we haven't won away an away game in their last 8 matches, so we have not won away. The issue also that we want to add on here is currently Allegri 2.0 has not been beating a top 4 team. He is just drawn, no wins, so that is a little bit concerning. But
And the kids think sad to say, but a draw wouldn't be a terrible result. It wouldn't be a draw at San Siro.
no, not at all.
It's acceptable. I think even the management, because what was it in the 5 games they wanted
7 points.
basically all wins and a tie, with Milan essentially being the tie.
Yeah, so I think the clubs kind of I don't want to say accepted it, but they've kind of set it as a requirement. Is like as long as you get a draw, we're good. Anything else is butter or sugar per se. But form wise,
If you get sugar and butter, you make caramel.
touche.
There you go. It's caramelly, caramel
Touche.
goodness.
So looking at it form wise, so Milan got that schmacking from Chelsea. They beat Empoli. They lost to Napoli. So I mean, they've played quality sides, and quality sides have beaten them. So that's a good sign. And yes, people, I'm saying we're a decent side. I'm not saying that we're terrible. But again, 3-1 against Dinamo Zagreb. They beat Samp and they beat Empoli. And Empoli, this game, scoreline's a little bit weird because they scored most of their goals in the last 5 minutes. With us in Maccabi, so again, the 3-1 against Maccabi. The Bolognas, we beat the Bolognas 3-0. Monza, we took that ugly loss. Same thing with Benfica, and same thing with Salernitana.
But Salernitana.
Yeah.
That one. The one that got away.
Oh, yeah. So looking at the head-to-heads right now, the current recent head-to-heads, 23 wins, 6 draws, 8 losses. With Milan, it's kind of interesting when we look at these past results. So we've got, more so draws. The last year we drew with them both times. This one was when we played at home. We scored against them first, and they got a late-minute equalizer.
That was that really horrible game to watch.
And the 0-0, the game that everyone cringed internally for.
Both the games were just really, really bad last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So there. Yeah. So that's pretty much kind of going into it. As far as Allegri's press conference or anything like that, just typical coach speak where he's saying, "Oh, hey, Pioli's are done really well. Milan is the Italian champions. Yada yada yada. Blah 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 blah." But more so just kind of going into how Milan's going to play this game. I think Milan is more so going to either high press or sit back and kind of wait for us to press forward to counterattack us. So again, we're going to be seeing a lot of ball movement through Hernandez and Leao coming up at us. So again, whoever's going to be our right mid and right back, if we're running a 4-4-2, those guys have to be on their toes because everything and anything will be coming at them. So
Quadrado, I'm noticing too. Quadrado is not in the starting 11.
He is not. I think Allegri watches the YouTube channel here. He watches us and he's like, "Hey, these guys are speaking some stuff here. I'm gonna drop this guy."
I mean, he doesn't need to be watching us if he just watches what's on the pitch in front of him.
I mean, you never know.
It's quite obvious, I thought.
But so how to beat Milan is going to be the question or the topic for the second half or the remaining part of this show. So I looked through hours and hours of Milan games for the past couple of weeks, and I looked at the recent ones a little bit more thoroughly because that's usually going to be the explanation of how they're going to come at us. So as I move this bad boy over. So a couple of things that I noticed is Milan is extremely vulnerable in the air. So looking at this first exhibit here, so this is their game against Chelsea. So this is a set piece play. So the theme of this show is when in doubt, head it in, just because usually that's kind of how Milan has been conceding. So lots of lax defending in the box here. And then again, it's a free kick, but Milan has been struggling in the air. So the next image I'm going to show you is going to be the result of this crossover. So you have Thiago Silva, or I believe you have Silva in the box, and the ball actually goes to him. And then that's Silva right there that I've highlighted in yellow, where he gets a free header right at the goalkeeper, right at Tataruzanu. So Silva's right here. I have him highlighted in the yellow. So no Milan player is watching him. So he walks into the box, gets a free header at Tataruzanu. Again, that just deflects off Tataruzanu. But again, you look at it, way too much open play in the box. Very, very open, very exposed. So this was a corner kick, this play here. So the ball's right here in this spot right here. Again, free header from Chelsea right there as well. The only thing is he just didn't finish it properly and just kind of popped it in the wrong direction. But it takes Milan way too late to contain. And as all of these, like you look at all three of these Milan players to stop one guy from hitting the ball, look what happens here. I have circled in yellow. All of these guys free up completely. So if you were to have a good person on the ball, all he has to do is just flick it to these guys and it's an easy goal. So again, this is the continuation of that play where instead of heading it to his teammates, he heads it at Tataruzanu. So it's right here in his hands. He's not going to secure it. He's going to bobble it. And when he bobbles it, you have 1, 2, 3. Three free players into the box. You see it? So this is the ensuing what happens later. So there's a scrum for the ball. One Milan player, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Chelsea players. And the ball is right there in front of Tomori. Who's going to win that?
Everyone's just ball watching right now.
Yep. So then here's another image. So this is from the backside of this scrum. So look at the ball right here. Here's Aubameyang right at the ball. Look at all the Milan players. Absolutely shambles. And then that ends up being a goal. 1-0 Chelsea.
And Francisco Dominguez here saying McKennie hat-trick, incoming all headers.
Hey, this is the game.
Yeah.
this is the game for him to score. I'm not.
And don't forget Milik either, man. Like,
yeah,
man, he'll put him in. And who knows, maybe a nice little Bremer, muscles his way through a corner kick, something like that.
No, for sure. And right here, so we have, this is an attack by Milan against Chelsea. So this is Leao. So this is where I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, is we cannot give free space in between the defense and the goalie for Leao. But Chelsea actually does very well to recover here. I think it's mostly because there is no Teo Hernandez in the game, but you have their main center backs here. You have their wing back right there. So the next image is going to be the ensuing run. So the wingback crashes in with the center back and kind of dispossesses Leao and covers him. So you're going to need to have defensive help to cover Leao just because he's way too skillful. So they do it, clear the ball away, danger averted. So this right here, this is not a free kick. This is an actual open play attack. Again, look at the space. Giving him all the space in the world for him to pick out a pass. This is Aubameyang here with Tomori. Look at the gap between the two. And you would think this is a free kick, but this is not a free kick. So ball gets crossed in, lands right into Aubameyang, tap in. Tomori misses the ball completely.
Jeez.
2-0 Chelsea.
Just falling on his ass there.
Yep.
Number 10 saying, let's hope Rabiot does a header again. Hopefully Verdonic has retightened that man knot there because I think it loosened a bit after that beautiful header.
Use the hairspray. There's hairspray for it.
Yeah. Hopefully it's you got to get in there and like suck it back nice and tight. Put some gel in there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
A nice tight man bun. I'm sure you're all about that.
All right, so then this is a chance. It wasn't the goal. The third goal was scored by Reece James, and it was just a really good strike. But again, the attack here. So this is Reece James coming in. So here's Sterling right here. This is Kalu, I believe. Or it's either Tomori or Kalu. I think this is Kalu because I think Kalu is number 5. So look at this gap right here. So who's Kalu guarding? Like, who's he man marking? So, and then this is, I believe, Tonali trying to make a last-minute step. Or no, that's Dest. That's making a last-minute step. And again, all he has to do is lob the ball over, lands at Sterling, but we all know that Sterling can't finish, so he misses the shot. So this exhibit is going to be the Napoli game. So Napoli beat Milan in San Siro 2-0. So this is Zielinski. This is not a free kick. Again, this is open play. I believe this is, so Raspadori is right there. I don't know who their right winger. I think it might be Almas. I'm sorry, I'm not a Napoli fan, so I don't know their players. But look at the defense right there. This is Teo Hernandez defending. So this is who we're playing against on Saturday. So Teo versus McKennie, I expect McKennie to feast in the air against Hernandez. So again, look at the gap that he gives him. The next image is the result. Jumps over Hernandez, puts a shot on target. Even though it's a terrible angle, he still was able to win the header, put a shot on him. So Napoli ends up getting a penalty, and this is how Milan respond per se. And this is kind of why I'm a little bit concerned with Leao and Hernandez, and especially if they put Cuadrado on the right side of the field, I am going to have a heart attack a little bit. So Hernandez, essentially, what Hernandez does is he runs up the entirety of the pitch, and will just throw something in the middle. So when you have a player like Giroud, that's always dangerous because look at Giroud right here. So Napoli forget to mark Giroud. So all it takes for Hernandez to do, which he does, is he drives a line drive through this red line, and Drew walks into it and just knocks it in. So it's the same thing with Leao as well. So Giroud is actually a very deadly target, man. I think, in my opinion, I think Giroud is very underrated as a player, just because he's not flashy per se and doesn't get the 30 goals a season or anything like that. He has come in clutch time and time again for Milan. Whenever there's a big game in Serie A, he scored against Inter, he scored against Napoli, especially last season as well with goals against Inter and goals against Napoli. It's kind of what propelled him to the title. So we have to watch out for Giroud. I think Bremer can keep him in his pocket if Bremer plays his cards right. But this is essentially the goal that Milan score, where it's just a line through for Giroud to tap in. So this is the second Napoli goal. So this, again, was a ball through the air. Milan's air defense, absolute shambles. So even so, this wasn't even a counterattack or anything like that. This was just kind of a play per se. So again, in the air, ball goes in through the air. You have the space, again, not respecting the space again. So Hernandez, and this is Tomori, not respecting the space in between the players. So this is Simeone that's able to get a free header, redirect it into the bottom corner.
So number 10 here saying, but both Chelsea and Napoli play with higher pace than Juve, so defenders will have more time to position themselves against Juve.
So here's the crazy thing about that, number 10. All these images were either from set plays or free kicks. So it wasn't really a breakdown in open play. So like the thing is like the Chelsea clips that I showed you were all things that resulted after a corner kick. And the one Reece James cross that went into Aubameyang was essentially a free kick because nobody was moving. Everybody was kind of standstill waiting for him to cross the ball. It's just Milan didn't close down on that cross. Same thing right here with this Napoli shot here. It wasn't really per se. Everyone was just moving into the box, and then he just saw an opportunity to loft a ball into the box, and he did it. So I understand when you mean about a higher pace or a higher intensity. Usually, teams that like that will be passing through the ground. Most high-paced teams don't really go for the air if you're playing a quicker pace. It's more so on the ground. So like Napoli, when they actually play seriously, so like for example against Ajax, Napoli, when they're doing their high intensity plays, you're seeing quick shifty passes on the ground because a lob ball is something where it essentially takes longer for a ball through the air to travel versus a ball on the ground because it's easier for a defender to reposition and reimagine himself on the pitch when the ball is moving through the air up top versus if it's a low shifty pass on the bottom because you'll have less of a reaction time to trap down a pass. So if you guys play rondos, that's why rondos are instincts. Whenever you're in the middle, you have to instinctively think about it. Once the rondo starts moving quicker, it becomes a lot more difficult versus if you're doing anti-cross training or defending crosses, the ball's coming over because it's traveling a longer distance. You'll have time to see where the ball is coming and anticipate for it. But the one thing that I want to illustrate on this is two things. One, Milan's lack of positioning when the ball is in the air. And two, the lack of height. They're not using height whatsoever. The only person right now on that team that would have it is Giroud and Ibra, but Ibra's out. Hernandez isn't really known for jumping up in the air, and it doesn't look like Tomori or Kalu either. The thing is, again, the positioning. You can't give this amount of space. There's just no way. This right here, this is criminal. Between, I believe this is Tomori and Simeone. Like, you cannot do that. That's easily 4 or 5 yards of a difference because Tomori's technically lined up at the penalty spot and Simeone's lined up at the edge of the 18. And then, go ahead.
So yeah, essentially what you're saying is just lob it in. Like you get Bonucci coming in to lob it in, or Kostic coming out from the wings. If Cuadrado plays, I mean, I'm sure he'll do something. Perhaps he'll do something. I don't know. but that does kind of suit us because we tend to do that as well, especially with Kostic showing up.
Yeah.
It's happening a lot more.
Well, think about it this way, Dave. So we have Vlahovic that can play in the air. You have Milik that's extraordinary in the air. You have Rabiot that can play in the air. You have McKennie that can play in the air. You have Bremer. That's 5 players that you could stack the box with, and something will happen. Because like the thing is like Chelsea right here. This image right here. So the scrum. So the scrum play off a corner. This ball comes in from a corner from Chilwell right here. And you have, I believe this is Silva, Thiago Silva, that wins the header. And then he tries heading it at goalward. And then even so, you have all these tall players that are open or willing to take a play or make a play. Same thing here, right here, where if we're defending a free kick, you can have Bremer right there, and then you'll have your Vlahovic, your Miliks, your McKennies going throughout the box. Because look at it. Like, I mean, Chelsea's way more aggressive in the box and is actually taking up their space in the box. And then these guys are opening up a free header for Silva, or in this case, it would be Bremer. And this, unfortunately, just literally just deflects off the post. But it's not, I think if Allegri is watching film, I think Allegri is going to do a lot of set piece training with the team, because Milan got bent over against Chelsea just by set plays alone. And then again, the third goal that Royce James scored, it was 2-0 at the 70th, 60th, 70th minute. And Milan was just desperately trying to push for something. And then they just hit him on a counter. But the initial breakdown, I think it's definitely going to result through a set piece or a set play, because you have Kostic, you have Paredes that can deliver balls into the box, just throw something into the box and hope someone gets a head on it to break the deadlock. I think we have the advantage because I think in the air, I think Milan is just not that good basing off of the clips that we see here.
This is another good point from Niket. Yeah, we have a good front line to give them trouble, but essentially, are we going to be able to control the ball in the midfield? Because their midfield is pretty decent.
It is, but if we move back over here. So again, if this is everything that they're running, I would assume most of their plays will be going through Hernandez and Leao. I think Tonali will probably move some passes, etc. I don't think Benacer will move anything, and I don't think De Ketelaere will have that much of a game. But I think what's going to happen is I think Rabiot is probably going to man mark either Tonali, or he might actually assist in defending Leao, depending on where they line him up, because they might interchange these center mids here. So I think Rabiot is probably going to be like that enforcer against one of these two if they cross into his territory.
Yeah.
I don't think Tonali is known for pressing forward that much. I think Tonali is probably just going to hold the center of the park per se. But I think Paredes and Tonali will probably have a good battle between each other in the midfield. And I don't really know too much about De Ketelaere. I know they're saying that he's a promising prospect.
Yeah,
but
he's like a young stud.
Yeah.
I mean, he scored a couple. He's, for his age, he's doing well, but I mean, yeah, you have to watch out. He's young, he's quick, he can move around, but he hasn't really refined his game yet to that point that he may not be a really big threat. He's not like Giroud, which at this point is slow but is very technical and just has all that experience to finish off like just those sloppy things, right? So it's an interesting pair up, having the really old guy and then the really young guy together. It might actually just complement each other really well.
No, I gotcha. And then the other thing too, I think we need to look at as well is on the left side of the pitch, where I think Kostic is going to have a field day with Dest. I know I've seen on a lot of the Milan channels and the Milan pages that a lot of Milan fans do not like Serginho Dest. They think he's probably the worst player on their team. If we do have any Milan fans watching, you want to confirm that for us. But so I think Kostic and Sandro will be able to play some decency on the left because you have Krunic and Dest, and I believe those two are probably the most hated Milan players from Milan's fan base. I think so. Don't want to quote me on that, but
which two did he say?
Krunic and Dest.
I would say Tonali.
You think Milan fans hate Tonali?
Oh, from Milan? No, from other fans, like Juve fans. Like, I hate Tonali. Everyone hates Tonali, but from within the club, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just kind of like how we hate Sandro, but
okay.
Yeah, so I think, because the thing is I think if anything, it's probably all of our stuff is going to probably happen from this left side here. if this is the lineup that ends up being the lineup. So I think Milik and McKennie are probably going to be the two that really, really shine in this game. It wouldn't
Yeah,
surprise me.
maybe even Kostic. He might be able to find space on that side too, right?
Yeah,
Rabiot kind of bossing it as well, perhaps physically. And I see like Paredes and Rabiot. I can see him just holding it, like being more a holding midfield, perhaps, and just letting Kostic and McKennie kind of bomb off the wings. But or they might just play a lot more flatter to try to just contain, right? Or maybe contain the right. It's interesting. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of different possibilities just by looking at this, knowing that they're all coming from the left, and we're going to probably have to load defensively on the left, but then our left should be opened up as well. So it might be a bit like a chess match, like
yeah.
more down to those like fine little details of the managers.
So, and then the other thing too that will be our Achilles heel against Milan is how we clear corner kicks. Our corner kicks per se, whether we score them or we kick them out of play. Because if Milan is able to intercept a corner kick, it is one pass to Leao and he is gone.
Yeah.
Because
No,
that's
for
what happened.
sure.
Yeah,
Any of those set play type things where you're kind of like loaded up offensively. Yeah, Liao's going to be off.
yeah. Because that's literally what happened to Empoli over the previous weekend, where Empoli was going for a corner kick. They did not clear the ball properly, and it was a through ball to Leao. Boom, goal, game over. GG. Thanks for playing, mates. So the thing is like
Yeah.
Milan don't have like a tiki taka or style like that. It's just a high intensity, high counter, high quick counter, high press, etc. They're a young team, bunch of young players. They just come in, play aggressive, boss you off the ball, and then just try to catch you lacking. That's what I've seen so far with Milan of how they play. It's again just it isn't more so Milan possesses the ball, they push you back into the corner, and then it's cerebral passing that just goes into the spot and finishes you off completely. It's more so we're pushing, we're attacking, we commit 6, 7 players forward. So Tonali wins the ball, passes it out to Hernandez, and then Hernandez is either to find Giroud or Leao, and then they facilitate the ball in the attacking third. Milan is a quick transition team, is what I like to call it, because
Mhm.
of their youth, because of the speed that they have. Their style or their calling card is fast transactions or fast breaks. So, like for example, if you're playing hockey or if you're playing basketball, you get a steal and then your team automatically shifts direction. So, like for example, you're playing hockey, one of your guys, your winger wins it at the blue line, and then your team instantly pushes forward and you're on a 3-2 break or something like that. That's kind of how Milan play. Milan play fast break football. It's win the ball in the middle of an opponent's attack and then just hit them fast. It's a form of counterattacking for sure, but this one's a little bit more deadly and it's a lot more harder to pull off. It takes more time to pull off, but since these guys have been doing it for 2.5 years now, and especially it's excelled under Pioli, they've executed it perfectly. Because the thing is Tonali, Benacer, or De Catalar will win the ball and they'll pass it to Giroud. Giroud, again, very, very strong on the ball, an amazing target man. All that needs to happen is for Giroud to find an open alleyway for Leao, and it's gone. Boom. Counterattack, possibility for a goal. Milan is very, very good at doing this. It's almost similar to Inter with Conte, with Lukaku and Lautaro, where they hit you on the fast break. It's never a breakdown. I don't expect Milan to break us down defensively. I don't. With all of our players on our side of the field, I don't see them doing any kind of integral passing or anything like that per se to beat us. It's more so they're going to try to catch us with their pants down, take us with their pants down, and then post it on Facebook for everyone to see per se. That's kind of how Milan is going to come at us. I don't see them coming in at a different way. Uh, they don't really have good build-up play. More so, it's just again 2, 3 passes and they're through. So for us, we have to be very, very strategic when we're attacking them. When we attack them, we have to make sure that all counterways are closed. Because if we don't, then it's going to be a long night. But if we can take
I
advantage, go ahead.
No, it's going to be a long night.
It is.
Like I think just knowing our history, especially how we've played against them last season as well, away from home. If if this is the two styles we're seeing, like that 4-4-2, I can see him just trying to bog down that Milan attack, just slow him down enough. And they do have the more experienced players overall. You can say Juve does. Uh, I mean, I kind of see that's what Allegri's going for, is just to break up that play, get them to be sloppy. Essentially, we're probably going to be sloppy because we're just going to be because we're just always sloppy. I guess is the easiest way of saying this. But it's just going to look ugly. This whole game is going to be ugly. I'm predicting it now. It's going to be another one of those like 1-0, 1-1 type games. I'm gonna go with 1-1, just since I'm on it, and because we do early predictions on this channel. 1-1. That's what I'm calling from now.
I'll say 2-1. I'm gonna say goals from Milik and McKennie.
Okay, the aerial threats. You go with the aerial threats. I think for sure we're gonna get caught out. I mean, Leao. I mean, you can't put any discount on that. So he might just rip in there, or Giroud too. He comes in clutch. He'll score one like the 93rd minute or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's for me, guys. The big thing is Mignon is out. Their best goalkeeper, Serie A's best goalkeeper, is not playing. Spam the box.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, because Tatarusanu, sorry, he's not horrible. He does a serviceable job. So you're still gonna need to beat. He's still a Serie A goalkeeper.
Yeah,
you still got to beat him.
Yeah, that's my thing, guys. We just spam the box. Spam the box, clean your make your bed, essentially. Make your bed and get your breakfast when it comes to this game. It's all Juve has to do. It's, to be honest with you, with the injuries that Milan have and the missing players, they got to take advantage of this.
Yeah, and that is a big point. Honestly, they're because Teo's probably back. Was it down to 10 guys? Or 9 guys? They have a lot.
Yeah.
I should have pulled that up, but like Calabria, obviously. You did pull it up. Yeah, you had it at the beginning.
Yep, so it's down here.
Yeah, so what's the total?
So 1, 2, 3. 7 official. Now. So it's 7 official. But even then, I don't think Teo Hernandez is gonna be at 100%. I'd be shocked if he is.
But Milik, I don't know. What's his percentage?
I think Milik will be fine. I think it was just fatigue.
Yeah, unless there's something still nagging him. Who knows?
Yeah, but usually fatigue takes, because he played Sunday. Sunday or Saturday? Shoot, Sunday. Yeah, he played Sunday. Yeah. He's had rest the entire week. He did his own individual training. The club eased him off on like actual training, so I think he's been chill. Because Allegri said in his pre-match interview where he said that he looks fine. He said Milik is fine. So I think we don't need to worry entirely about it. I'm gonna just double check and see. I'm gonna read the presser real quick just to see if I'm covering all my bases. But
here's just question here from Niket. Why do you guys think Locatelli not getting a lot of starts lately? Well, for one, Allegri just straight out came out and said Locatelli is like the first guy off the bench. So he's not rated as highly as in this case Paredes, Rabiot even. He's just that next guy up essentially, and he hasn't really proven that he's quite at that level, because when he does play regular games, he gets fatigued a lot as well. So for me, honestly, I like him as a super sub. He comes in fresh, because here's his problem. He's one of those guys with the grinta. When he goes out, he's going to go and give it his all. Unfortunately, that gets you injured and tired. I know, because that was my guy. I lacked a lot of skill, so I just ran the shit out of everything. It wasn't great, but then, I felt like crap at the end of the match, and I had to ice myself and, take a couple days off. And I think Locatelli's a lot like that. So if you manage him a bit more with his hours until he matures a bit more and is able to manage his game time a lot better, I don't know. I'm kind of with Allegri on this one.
Yeah, and you guys got to remember too, Locatelli's young. He's not, he's not 27, 28 years old. So Paredes offers more than he does in the Regista role. Rabiot right now is playing out of his mind defensively, and then McKennie has the quality offensively in the air to beat Milan, so I think that's why the predicted lineup is putting McKennie over Locatelli. I think Locatelli comes in the second half and changes the pace a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
disagree with that. So I did pull up Allegri's comments. So Allegri did say this. So he said Bonucci should be back. Milik is feeling much better. He should be able to enter the field. He's just going to evaluate Milik at the end of the training session. So I'm going to assume today as a training session. So the interesting thing too, so I think Allegri watches the show. He said this: we have to avoid playing Milan in the open field because it gives them the opportunity for counterattacks. So we have to be good at blocking counters, so not giving them. So cleaning up essentially. Again, don't give space to Leao, but they also have players like Giroud and Catalar, very technical, good all-around performers. So I'm definitely sure that Allegri watches our show, guys. Pretty positive here. But again, it's simple. I mean, I guess Allegri, I'm kind of curious because I don't think Allegri is going to say in the press conference, hey, we need to spam boxes or balls in the cross.
Yeah,
or
of course.
Spam balls in the boxes. But I think this game is a game for the taking. I really do. I would be, to be honest with you, like I would be okay, but disappointed with the draw.
I think we can take it. It's gonna be tough. I'm very optimistic right now. I'm just looking at the table too. So Milan's in 5th with 17 points. We're in 7th. So we can eventually close that gap and get ourselves into a European position, perhaps, depending with what Roma does. So, and like say Roma loses, we would be tied with them if we won. So this still has a lot of ramifications for us, right? Like even if we torture a season, we still want to be, I would say, really top 5, but 6. Like 6 is where the European slots kind of finish, right? So at this point, at least just like looking at the table as well as trying to be in striking distance of these other guys, we got to win this one.
Yeah, we're Conference League right now in theory.
Not even.
No, it's when the Coppa Italia happens, it shifts everything down a spot. So like 7th is the cutoff, I think.
I thought it was 7. Yeah, but that's still playoffs. You don't just automatically get.
Yeah, of course, it's the playoffs, but it's like super stupid. Like I don't understand like some of the alignments and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think it's kind of dumb. Frankie DMZ says Allegri is the number 1 Turin Giants fan.
maybe.
Yeah, we did have a comment, not Allegri's burner account comment once. No. But,
oh man, yeah.
So you guys wanna throw down, because I think only Niket threw down his prediction and Frankie threw down his prediction. Yeah, number 10, if you're still there, you got any thoughts, any predictions on there?
Otherwise, just as we're kind of closing up, unless you have more questions too, of course, the guys in the chat, let us have it. But it is Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend. I'm going to disappear here for a few days. Dash is going to take the show. It's all his. But Weston, you saw Weston there. That was post game. That was Monday, wasn't it? Not too long ago. Anyway,
I think it was Monday.
Yeah. So Weston Pagano, if you liked him, he'll be back. And yeah, he likes to keep things real serious too, in terms of keeping things real, calling out the BS, if you will, right? So he's good. He gives a good perspective. Number 10's giving him 1-1. So yeah. Anyways, I'll be entertaining guests the whole weekend. You just had to.
I had
do
to.
it. Was that for the 1-1?
Come on.
Yeah.
We got. Come on, guys. Let's get some energy. It's like I know. Like I said, a draw seems plausible, but like, come on, guys. Let's hope for the win. God,
I'll be a lot more excited tomorrow. Hopefully, my guests get the hell out of my way and recognize that. I mean, I'm peacing out for a couple hours. Just deal with it. Watch it with me, if you will. Maybe I can convince the one guy's a big sports guy, so maybe I'll get away with it. And then I'm still entertaining guests at that point, right?
The thing is like it always happens. Like whenever I'm watching a game and I'm like trying to watch it, like for example, I'm trying to watch it from an analytical perspective, and then like people come up to me and start chirping, and be like, "Hey Dish, hey Dish, hey Dish," and I'm like shaking my head, like, "Hey, Can you
Yeah,
leave me
no, they
alone?
don't. Other people don't get it because I try to pay attention. My wife will do that to me all the time, especially if it's one of those weekday ones. So I'm watching it, and then she comes home from work, and then, of course, must talk about work. And she knows that I'm not really paying. She must know that I'm not paying attention. She must, because I'm not even looking at her. I'm staring at the screen. I know that makes me a horrible husband, but
You know, it's funny. I'll be watching games with my dad, and my dad is like very analytical when he studies the game, and I'll be watching it like for to talk through our show, like to talk for our post game shows, and I'm watching stuff, and he'll just sit there, and I'm like trying to concentrate and looking at the ball movement and the play, and he's like, "Oh man, look at this team!" I'm like, "Oh my god, this guy sucks," or "Oh this or that," and I'm like, I'm trying to focus, and then like all I literally hear is literally this, guys, like.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So like that's literally the entire like most of the points of the match, and I'm just kind of like, let me focus, let me focus, let me focus, and then he'll be like, Allegri sucks, and I'm like, I know, I know, just give me a minute.
does he at least understand the game well enough to know what he's talking about?
Oh, he knows the game better than I do.
Okay, there you go. Because
Yeah, he.
my dad would do this to me in hockey, and he would just always comment because that's the one sport my dad does watch, but he never played it, and it's just so frustrating because he just has no idea what he's talking about, but he's just like yelling at the TV and he's like, just shut up. I just want to enjoy the game without the like. If he was on, like if he knew what he was talking about, it'd be like, all right, cool. At least you know. It's like these North American commentators that never played the sport and now they're commentating on national television.
You know how many funny sound bits those North American commentators have, especially in football? It's like you'll hear some like really stupid stuff, and he's like, he just pulls out and it's all over his face, and I'm like, sit there, I'm like, what am I watching? Am I watching football? Like, what the hell?
I mean, we do that as well once in a while. So, and Bones making. I mean, are you late or are we early?
Yeah,
Let's call it even.
we wanted to do the Canadian Thanksgiving Day special
Yeah,
for you
Canadians
guys.
Thanksgiving. Man, I
So,
gotta make beds. I gotta make beds after I'm off. That's my last chore though.
so number 10 is asking me, does my dad support Juve? Yes, he does. He's a more stricter fan than I am, but again, he just more so trolls during the game. Whenever, even if it's an ugly game, he'll troll the hell out of me because he knows that like whenever, because the thing is like I'll watch games to enjoy it. Like more so like for me, the only time I really and it's not in a reflection of how we play, but like for example, I more so enjoy like if I'm watching Napoli versus Ajax or something like that, I'll kind of watch it more of an entertainment factor and a little bit of a analytical factor to it. But my dad will watch Juve games for entertainment per se, and I'll watch it to study how the team's playing and how the players are moving. So it's like I'll sit there and I'll just do it, and he knows it, and he'll just troll. But yeah, my dad was the one that got me into Juve. My dad
Okay.
bought me. So it was when I was in Europe. I actually have it in the other room. He bought me an authentic Edgar Davids
Oh,
jersey from
nice.
2002. He's got that. So he's got quite the jersey collection, man. Like so like him and I would go into these like novelty stores, and he like will pick up like we found it's like these flea markets that we have, and found a 1998 Van Nistelrooy jersey, Holland Van
Oh,
Nistelrooy jersey.
nice.
We found the, I believe it was the 92 World Cup Roberto Baggio jersey as well.
That's a
So like
sweet one.
so
Sure.
we've got like this huge jersey collection. I should probably start putting them up
Yeah.
here,
Yeah, you
but
probably
like
should.
they're not Juve jerseys besides one of them. So
That's
like
fine. I
oh,
have a it's a knockoff one, but I should hang it up. I have a Dutch Davids one.
yeah, I got you. I've got the, it's like the Sony where it had Sony on it, so like legit old school. But like
Yeah.
there's a lot of those old jerseys. But yeah, my dad's probably a bigger fanatic at me than me, and my dad's 52 and he still plays every week.
Oh geez. We should get
Plays
him on. What are you
consistently.
doing on the show? Get your dad on.
I should. He'll just sit there. He'll just roast me the entire show. But so Niket asks me, what position do I play? So that's a good question. So throughout my long, illustrious career of beer league soccer or football. So it's interesting. So the thing is for me, I'm kind of a two-way player. So I can play offensively and I can play defensively. So I can play as a left winger. More so, I think my best position is like a number 9, where I kind of play like Holland, where I know where to position myself
Oh,
and
look
just
at
stick.
him compare himself to Holland
I'm not
already.
doing that, but like, so like I can like, because the thing is I'm about 6'1", so I can't convert that into meters because I can't do math right now.
What was it in feet? Sorry.
6'1", 6'1" so like 180.
A bit. Yeah, it's like 190 something. Yeah.
So like yeah, something like that. So I'm a little bit tall, and also I'm a little bit heavy because I'm about 190 pounds. So that's like shit, like 75 kilos. No, maybe.
No, you're like 90-ish.
Yeah, about 90-ish kilos. So I play more so as a target man up top. So it's like for me, it's like I'll usually do one move over, create space, and hit the shot from distance because I can hit from distance. So my primary position is like a number 10 center forward and a left wing, and then and also I can finish with both feet. And then defensively, when I play defense, I play as a center back. Depending on, because the thing is, like, I'll play games where, like, if I'm playing pickup, I'll understand. Okay, I have enough attackers. Let me shift down and play defense a little bit. And then, like for example, when I play in my dad's team on the weekends, I play as a goalkeeper because they don't have goalkeepers. So I started playing goalkeeper like 4 years ago. Not
Yeah,
perfect, but I can make decent saves.
I've done that a few times,
So
unfortunately.
because the funny thing is that when I used to play roller hockey, I used to play goalkeeper, and I guess I never lost the
Oh
technique
boy,
on it.
from playing roller hockey.
So, and the funny thing is, so a little bit of a backstory of me playing goalie was, so it was 2018. I tore my meniscus. I was hit from another player, hits my knee goes clack. So I was sidelined. I didn't want to get surgery on it just because, again, I'm not a professional athlete, so I don't have access to the best doctors. So I kind of did the long, grueling physical therapy for about 8, 9 months. So I wanted to play. I had an itch that I wanted to get back into the game. I didn't want to sit down and not do anything. So I talked with my strength coach and I said, "Hey, can I start playing goalkeeper? I want to figure, I kind of want to reintegrate myself into the sport because again, guys, when you're injured for a while, it's almost like you forgot how to completely play. So, because I didn't want to lose my field sense, I started playing goalkeeper, and then the crazy thing about it was when I started playing goalie, I started understanding the defensive aspect of the game a lot better, where there's crossing lanes, passing routes, attacking routes, or like, I got to the point where I was able to memorize how every winger I was up against shot. I would watch them shoot the ball 3 or 4 times. I'm like, okay, this is the angle that he puts the ball in this direction. Body mechanics. I'm very, very analytical to it. So and then I kind of played goalkeeper, and then once I started getting healthy, where I was able to actually start running on the field, I then started playing as a center back because again I was a little bit afraid to play as an offensive player just because I didn't want to get hit in the knee. So I started playing as a center back, kind of helped build my confidence and my strength. And then now I'm back to playing up top again. But it's kind of funny because now I can press a lot better because I know how defenders play and I can kind of think like a defender. So it kind of ended up making me be more so an all around player. So, like, I don't really have something that, like, probably I think my passing would be a trait that I have very, very good where I'm able to kind of, okay, so this is the defender's reach. So if I slot the ball through here, so I've been known to give pretty good passes. I've got a pretty decent shot for sure with both feet, but
Just get
definitely
some
think
footage. Just get some footage. We'll put the tape up. We'll judge. We'll break it down.
here, yeah, because it was funny because I played last week and I ended up scoring 5, and I have like this picture because I won the man of the match that they took a picture for. I'll
Look
post
at
it,
him.
but
Look at him. He's just gloating about himself
I
here.
know, but it's like I looked like because it was funny because so I had a sinus infection last week, so I had it like my Michael Jordan flu game where I was like playing and like oh my gosh, I had to go through like 2 pairs of shirts because I was like sweating like crazy. But ugh, don't play when you're sick.
Yeah.
And then he says bring him in for a watch along.
Yeah, and you know what? I was gonna say that you can put the camera up, like set it up for the two of you, and then we can have like the father son watch along.
I could. I'd have to ask him. I'd have to ask him if he wants to,
Yeah,
because
why
like
not?
I think because the thing is like I think he'd just sit there and just kind of watch like this the entire time and not make any noise or anything, just in spite of me.
That's okay. We'll ask questions. I'll still be in the chat and try to egg things on. And then number 10 also asking what position on the field. The easiest thing I would say just anything along the left. Really, I kind of moved around. I never played at a super high level. I did more of like play a lot of different sports instead of getting good at any single sport. Uh, it is what it is. I don't know. I just kind of played everything. And same. I mean, so comparable to say hockey. I played hockey a lot. Like I was a left winger in hockey, or I played defense. So I have zero shot. It doesn't matter which sport I play. I cannot score. Like just cannot score. So I do tend to play more on the defensive side, and it's funny. So I'm right-footed. So obviously in soccer, it makes sense to um, play on the left. But in hockey, now it depends. It's different on hockey because I'm more of a defensive guy in hockey. Being a left shot, and that's where I'm weird. I'm right-handed everywhere except left in hockey. Is I can get my stick up against the boards to hold the pucks into play. Like if they get swung around the boards, that's kind of like my one thing. So I played left defense a lot to kind of contain. But anyways, that's that. Not gonna go through my whole history here either.
Yeah, I get you. I'm gonna pull up that image for him. But and then the other thing too, so position what my dad plays, because I don't know if someone asked for that or not, but my dad is a right center back or a right back. Defensively, for his age, he is an absolute monster. Like he is probably one of the toughest guys to break down on a one-on-one ISO. Like my dad is ridiculous because like um, he'll play against some like really good skill possession players. So can you tackle on the field then? It's kind of like a gentleman's agreement, number 10. We don't like doing it because we all have to work the next morning. And
Yeah, exactly.
and it's so like where I play, it's frowned upon. So usually whoever like slide tackles like that aggressively, because the problem is number 10 is slide tackling is kind of like an art. You have to know what you're doing. Like we all know, for a good chunk of most of us know what they're doing, but it just takes one guy to do something stupid. And it's one of those things where all of us is like a collective group, because like where I live, it's more so a pickup community that kind of that organize it. So like we all know each other. We've all been playing together for years. When we play, so if we see anything like that, it's almost like, hey, nah, we don't do that here. And yeah, nothing. I think nothing triggers me more than an ugly slide tackle that can like seriously damage somebody. Because again, I was the receiving end of a nasty slide tackle on my knee, and yikes!
Yeah, you were out for a while, eh?
Yeah, I was out for at least a year.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played sports now, probably since the pandy, because all the sports died, and then I stopped playing, and then I don't know. I'm kind of past that point in my life. Unfortunately, I play soccer with my dog in the evenings, if that counts for anything. She loves playing that. The one right there on screen. She gets the soccer ball, and oh, there it is.
Yeah, this is me with like a sinus infection, ready to die. That's like my second shirt, guys. I was literally about ready to throw up after that picture.
Indoor turf, those are the best, eh?
Dude, I love AstroTurf. It's so fun to play on. But it was funny because the guy comes up to me and hands me the ball, and he's like, "Hey, can we get a picture for your man of the match?" And I was like, "I won it." He's like, "Yeah, you scored 5," and I was like, "I did?"
Jeez.
Because dude, oh my god, I was so lightheaded at that point. It was hilarious. I was like literally ready to die. There's a kid. I never got the footage from him, but he actually recorded everything. But oh man, I was like ready to just like collapse.
Maybe should. You know what? That would be hilarious if anybody has like little league footage or anything like from your beer league or whatever, and you have like a match recorded or highlights, whatever, doesn't matter. Send it to us and we'll break it down just as a joke.
breakdown Dash's footage right there.
Yeah.
I wonder if I think I have footage of my dad defending, but like that might be a story for another day. But there's always some funny footage somewhere about it.
That's awesome. Yeah, Niket saying sort of same thing as you're saying, playing different positions helps you understand. And yeah, I mean I'll echo that too, because I have played forward and I have played back. I prefer playing defense personally. It's just more my style. I like getting up in people's faces and getting the body in play. Like I said, I have no skill. I just use my body. Another reason why I'm kind of broken and old at this point, because it does definitely wear on you. But yeah, I mean, playing different positions, but even just playing different sports as well. A lot of times in hockey, you'll see in warm up before they got their skates on, they'll play soccer, just do passing out in the back just to get the footwork going, the heart rate up a little bit, just getting a different skill. And man, just sorry, I listened to a podcast. It was like a special forces guy, Navy SEAL or something like that. Can't remember. And they just talk about which sports they played in high school, and a lot of these guys, like they all played something. Everything kind of relates back to each other in some sense. Like even golf, right? Golf is not very physical, but it's all mental. And if you can be good at golf mentally, you can be good at any other sport.
Yeah, if you're great at golf, you're probably going to be one of the best set piece takers ever. Just because of like golf is probably like the most stingiest set piece sport. So like a lot of that's why a lot of hockey players play it, just because to work on their hand-eye
They all
coordination.
play it. Man,
Yeah.
if they get kicked out of the playoffs or don't make it, they go straight to the links.
Yeah, for sure. I think the other thing too is one thing that a lot of people underestimate is field goal kicking. I think that's
Yeah.
probably one of the toughest things to do. Like the thing is like definitely folks, if you guys think it's easy, I encourage you to learn the actual like 3-second step that you have to do to actually kick a field goal and try it. It'll change your mind entirely, because like the way that you run up and kick a goal kick for a soccer ball or a free kick versus a field goal, two totally different things. Let me see if I know I have some trick shots of mine. I'm like pulling them up as we're going, but yeah, normally, because the thing is for me too is known for set pieces as well. So like you give me a set piece or a penalty, you make me the happiest man in the world.
You're the guy that always steals the ball. It's like, no, I'm taking this one. You're,
Well, no,
you're like you're the Ronaldo.
kind of, but like so like for me, the one thing that I always like, so whenever I'm coaching somebody, especially an offensive player, I always tell them to have 3 run-ups to your penalty. Like to have 3 separate run-ups, because a lot of players only have the one. And again, once you start playing consistently and people start seeing you play more and doing it more, people understand, oh, he has this run up that puts it in this angle. So I always tell people to have 3 separate run ups. Like I do have 3. I have one that goes in the bottom left corner, one that goes in the top right corner, and then I have the Jorginho penalty. I use that one like very, very scarcely. So I think only 1 or 2 people have ever seen me do the Jorginho penalty in a game.
The old Jorginho hasn't been as accurate as of late, but yeah, I don't know. That was the one with a bit of a stutter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the hop step.
Yeah, not a big fan of those. I like the guys to just run into it and blast it. And of course,
yeah.
I'm just like I said, I don't score anything, so what do I know? I'm horrible at those.
All right, I think so. I got a decent goalkeeper clip here that I'll send to the chat.
Otherwise, I mean, if you can find a bunch of things, we can collate them. We can do it as another special.
Yeah, let me do this real quick. I think I got it. I just gotta pull it up. Ugh. But
All
yeah,
right,
this was
Dash.
this
Get
was
ready to make fun of them. Whatever it is, just get ready.
Get ready to make fun of my goalkeeping skills, because I'm telling you guys, like I am not that good of a goalkeeper, and I'm only pulling it up for you guys. Going into the archives here.
Wait for it.
I know. I have to, because I have to send it from my phone to my computer.
I know. I'm looking at the reflection on your electric cabinet there. I can kind of see what you're doing. It's kind of. You can see what Dash is looking at. It's just kind of creepy. See all his passwords. It's gonna get hacked pretty soon.
I know. Unfortunately. You
can see it right over that Corona bottle.
All right, so this is where I did a double save. So I saved an outside the box shot, and then I was able to like turn around and like knock it out, because the guy put so much spin on it. But this is me in the red. So this is playing on my dad's team on Sundays. So they counter on us. This guy drives me insane sometimes when he plays defense. But
because he just stands there like a fatty.
Yep. Okay, so here we go. I guess that's not wrong clip. Sorry, guys. I lied.
So that was a clip of Dash doing nothing.
Doing absolutely nothing. That was not the clip. I lied.
All right,
Yeah.
let's not bore these guys. You find all your clips, put them in a folder, and
Yeah, we're gonna do a compilation of it. We'll do Dash's best moments 20 back when I was a kid.
yeah. Otherwise, man, I think that's it. Like I said, it's not too much drama, really. We all know Milan. We know what they're gonna do, what to expect. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be, I think, one of those up to the managers, perhaps, which subs come on, how impactful they are, uh, even who just makes the mistakes. I don't know how much open play, like actual open play chances in general, we're gonna get. There's obviously gonna be some open play. Leao's gonna get his break. Hopefully, Vlahovic. But yeah, I think it's just going to be tight. Like I said, I'm off this weekend for, as Weston called it, my fake Thanksgiving. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving this well, happy
It's
holidays.
so funny. He's like fake Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And yeah, of course, like, subscribe. Dash, do you want the music or do you got something else?
I actually found the clip.
Oh,
Do you guys want me to play it?
I'll
Yay.
just play it. Just
All right,
get
let's
it
do
over
it.
with. Rip the Band-Aid off.
I know, rip the Band-Aid off, guys. Get ready to watch some old school terrible goalkeeping right here, but it still made the save though. All right, here we go. So look at the Where's Waldo guy. He's able to hit it from like 45 yards. Guy's got a really good shot. So like he dips it and it hits my hands. Ugly hit, but look at the recovery right here. So goes off, goal line clearance. I don't even know how I made that, but
well, why didn't she control the first ball?
I couldn't, because the thing is because it looped in, it looped down. So I had my hands up ready to parry it, but like he put so much forespin on it, it literally falls right in. It's like, so you can see the shot right there where it like literally, so I'm in position and then I put my hands up and that thing was like shot like a missile. So I'm like getting ready to, because what initially I wanted to do is I wanted to volley it over the net, over the crossbar.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get enough on it at the time because it was just hit with so much velocity. So I look up and I look behind me and I see it. So it's like literally, so I have maybe 5 steps until it goes in. So I'm watching it. I'm like, oh crap. So, and then it goes in, hits the ground once. And then I think I did like 5 steps in a single stride. And then I had to like fist it out almost. And I know that sounds dirty, but like right there as it's on the line, I'm like punching it right there. Like you guys can like screenshot that.
I don't know. I want the VAR on that one. That we don't know. We can't tell from here if it was over the line.
Boy, the ball didn't entirely. Trust me, ball don't lie, guys.
Number 10's calling you Prime Buffon. I wouldn't go that far. Like, don't get to his head.
So and then you get the bop right there, and then I completely crash in. So right there, Dave, see how it is right objectively above, right in front of the line?
Objectively, yeah.
Objectively. But yeah. That is me when I was learning how to play goalkeeper. Of course, now I probably would catch that ball, but I didn't know that grips on gloves made that big of a difference back then.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I had some like tattered gloves that I found at a yard sale.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely need some nice gloves for those,
Yeah.
especially those kinds of shots. So there you go.
Gave you
Dash
guys a
in all
treat.
his glory
I'll start.
under the neon lights of indoor soccer.
I know. I'll start. If you guys want, I can start recording clips and I can start posting shorts of me playing, just for more so comedic, for fun.
Yeah, we'll break it down.
Yeah, Bones even says VAR can't tell either because that's how fast I hit it out there that I even broke VAR. Thanks, Bones. I appreciate you, Bones.
Because they don't have that angle for whatever reason.
Hey, man, it was what is it? This was like in 2018, so it was like old school iPhone like 7s, not like the 14 Max that they have right now.
Yeah, whatever. They're all the same. People waste their money. $1,400 cell phones. Come on. Anyways, don't get me on the Apple rant. I think they're ridiculous, but. Anyways, I'm playing music. I gotta go entertain guests in a bit, so
I gotcha.
They're closing me out, bud.
I will. So, to all our Canadian viewers and watchers around the good old provinces, happy Canadian Thanksgiving Day. I get it. You guys did it a month earlier than the Americans, but it is what it is. But anyways, guys, I hope you got educated against the old Milanos. Figure out how they play, give them the air raid, give them the blitzkrieg, hit them hard in the air and beat them. I hope we do. I think we will. Thanks for also looking at my clips, my footages, and my old shenanigans back in the day. Have a great weekend, guys. Have a great Friday night, and we will see you on the post game. Ciao, everybody.
You'll see Dash on the post game. I'll see you next week. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Forza Juve.